Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sundays with Sully. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, here comes the spiel. You know I got to do it. Make sure to give us a like, follow, subscribe, share on YouTube to stay up to date and in the know with the latest tip, techs, trends, and happenings in the marine industry. That mouthful's out of the way. What are we talking about today, guys? Well, we've left the studio. As you can see by my surroundings here, we are out back in the shop, and we are talking trolling motors. In particular, we've got this Rodan trolling motor we are installing on a Reef Runner 23 here in the shop. So we're going to talk about some of the basic principles and some of the things you need to understand if you are going to do a trolling motor or you're looking at having a trolling motor done on your boat. Make sure the shop fully understands everything that's going to be doing the work. So first thing, when you start looking at these trolling motors, they are variable in 12, 24, and 36 volt in most cases, depending on manufacturers. So what happens, why are we talking different voltages? Well, as we go up in voltage, the amperage stays the same. In this particular motor, it's a 50 amp draw. Out of 12 amp, I think we're getting about 55 pounds of thrust. We go up to a 24 volt like this one is, we get 80 pounds of thrust. We go up to a 36 volt, we're now getting 120 pounds of thrust. So you're getting more thrust with that voltage. Another nice trade-off there when you're going to these higher voltage motors, if this was done on 12 volt, we would need a 4 gauge wire per ABYC standards for this entire run back from the battery bank to there. So by going from up to 24 volts, we could actually go down in wire size to an 8 gauge wire. Now, if this was a 36 volt, we could actually go to a 10 gauge wire. So those are just some of the considerations that need to be given when doing an install like this. Now, as you can see here, this boat originally had a windlass, 12 volt windlass mounted right here. So what we've done is we've able to utilize the wiring that was already there, so it's actually a little oversized for our 24 volt motor, but we just put some power posts down in there and made it really easy to make that wire run. So though, like I said, we've got a wire run that's going to come back here, but now when we start talking about doing these things, we have to start talking about battery management and power management, because if you have a 24 volt battery system going on your boat with a 12 volt, you've got to kind of figure out how is it that we are going to how are we going to control this? How are we going to use this? So that's the next step you got to consider on all these things. So as I pull up my app here, and we'll put this up on the screen here, we are using the Power Pole charger there, and there's a C Monster amp. So you can kind of see right there, that charging system right there is charging our engine battery right here, as well as our 24 volt lithium rely-on battery for our trolling motor. So we've gone ahead, we've got an outlet right there, so we can plug into the boat. We goes right back up there to our 30 amp breaker per ABYC standards, goes to the charger, and then distributes the power out from there. So as I go ahead right now and stick my head in there and turn the charger off, you guys are going to see on the app now that it has lost power on there. And we're going to start to see that it can do battery management. So if the boat is unplugged and you're not running your motor, this is going to allow the engine battery and the trolling motor to compensate for each other and draw power back and forth. As you see, as the amperage is going back and forth there, and we're showing our voltage on our lithium battery and our engine battery. So that's really handy. And another cool feature with this same charger setup here is now when the motor is running, once our engine battery has got up to a full charge, it then kicks over and starts charging our trolling motor battery while we're underway. So no longer are we reliant on just having a 110 shore power plug to charge up our trolling motor battery. We have the ability to run mixed voltage, one battery charger, one outlet, and keep it simple. So again, as I kind of cram my head back in here, we'll turn that back on, and you're going to see now the batteries are going to go red actually on the app here, as it's going to go ahead and start figuring out what's going on with the batteries. So the other cool feature here is I kind of bring it up on this app here. We go ahead and kind of see what's going on. You're going to see I can come into here and I can configure my charger. So now this is going to come in and it's going to start asking me some questions. It's going to say, hey, what kind of battery is it? What's the capacity of it? And that's how it's going to start using its logic on there itself to figure out everything going on. So really great setup, but these are just some of the things that you need to consider when we start talking about adding a trolling motor, start adding mixed voltage and mixed chemistry batteries. There's a lot of people out there talking about lithium and how to charge them and how to handle it. It is a great way to go about it. You just need to make sure you have the proper considerations in place when you're doing it. So That's it. That's this week's Sundays with Sully. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, like I said in the beginning, make sure to give us a like and a follow and a subscribe on YouTube to stay up to date and in the know. And I'm going to get back to checking out some of the other stuff and make sure we're getting this boat all dialed in. And I think, I don't know what I got going on actually next week for you guys. I don't even want to tell you because I'm not sure what we got coming in the queue. So stay tuned and we'll see you guys next week with whatever cool thing we got going on.